Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the OK Grognard Show. It is Tuesday, September 1st, 2020, 9:30 a.m. Central in beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. What a day. Looks pretty nice out. Well, it's Tuesday. This makes it a world building and cartography day. I will mention again, as I mentioned last week, it does seem like we're doing a lot more world building lately than cartography, as far as the focus is concerned, and that's okay. We were kind of cartography heavy early on, so I think it's actually an okay thing to be world building heavy after after a while now. Let's see. Let's see now. I don't know. Am I getting enough volume here in my headset? I'm not sure if I am. That's this one. And this one. Alright, just check. It seems to be working, so I'll have to take it for granted. Even though my headset's telling me different. I know there might be a problem right here. Is that right? No? Okay. Anyway, enough with the technical stuff. It's online. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about generators online, right? Just some different ones. We've spoken about quite a few over the last couple of weeks. Is this the, yeah, that's where the mic is, so. One second, let me just. Yeah, no, all's good. I think maybe my earphones must have been loose in the plug in the back of my Yeti Blue mic here. What up with you, Raging Albert? How are you doing today? Lex Fire's here somewhere, I think. How's that channel been going for you over there? Raging Albert has his own channel. He does. Well, how would you describe it? Give me an overall. It's really about, mostly about you playing games, I guess. But are there other things that I've missed? Bad video game play? This is, this is in reaction to your son beating your butt at some games, some video games, and then you feeling like you needed to step it up, so you've taken a stronger approach. Is that pretty much the gist of it? At least you're having fun. What were you doing, some mech thing the other day? And Lucas is a prodigy with Zelda, huh? Okay, that's cool. Well, that love of gaming comes from somewhere, and I'm sure it's you. So there you go. Wonder if this is too bright. Yeah, let's turn that circle light down a little bit. I think I was looking like I was sitting in a tanning bed. Not that I do that sort of thing. Mech Warrior and Minecraft Dungeons at the moment. Cool. I saw you playing Mech Warrior. Minecraft Dungeons, though. What is that? I'm not familiar. Have you found it to be a good substitute in these Corona times for? Because I mean, it's basically Diablo. Oh, okay. All right, I get it. Which is very popular amongst tabletop RPGers as a video game to play. So we've got to assume that it's pretty good in that regard, then, right? Alright, what do I need to do? I want to pull this over here and this over here. I've got some sites opened up that I want to focus on as part of this this day's show. You can do multiplayer as well. Okay, that's cool. But with Minecraft-like graphics. Well, that makes it easier to program. That probably also makes it a little more less potentially laggy, right? If it's not constantly rendering images for you, then to get everything smooth and lifelike, then it's probably less laggy. Tell you what, let's take a look at some of these things here. I'm going to pop that over there. I'm going to pop this over here. We're looking at online generators. This is part 3, so... But I think today mainly we're going to look at online generators in regard to name generators today. Now, I looked through a bunch of them that I have, and don't forget, we talked about I'm going to do this. We talked about generator sites that had 3 or 4 different sites that had multiple different types of generators, including name generators. We focused on some of those other more esoteric generators that they provided because they were sites where they might be the only site where we'd see that type of generator. We looked at a couple of dungeon generators, and that's cool. And there are a lot of sites like that. But there are a lot of treasure generators, and there's a lot of name generators. There's a fair number of plot generators. Anyway, this week, we're going to look specifically at some name generators. And this site has a lot of them. It's got some other generators, as you can see in the upper right. See this other little thingy over here. Now, I wonder if I get rid of this and go here. If I can just bring it up. There we go. Got rid of that addendum so that everybody knows what's going on here. I should also, while I'm thinking of it, pull this up and pull this up. And some name generators online. This one, Fantasy Name Generators, has the super easy to remember URL of fantasynamegenerators.com. And it's got quite a few of them. Right? Fantasy names, real names, place names, other names, pop culture, description generator, other generators. So it's got other stuff too, but really the bread and butter for this site is fantasy names. So let's take a look at all of this. Now this, morning Lexfire, has got to be one of the most impressive. What do we got? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 29. Let's call it 30. Let's call it 30 times 5, 150. So we're somewhere shy of 150 dedicated fantasy name generators. And this includes, over here, fantasy surnames, fantasy race names, fantasy creature names, fantasy animal names. Let's go to fantasy creature names. Here we go. Mellow Sphinxes, Golden Wraiths, Purple Fawns, Tundra Daywalkers, Amber Fairies, Underground Spirits, Dusk Orcs, Silent Goliaths, Crossed Unicorns, Hermit Kobold. So we've taken a bunch of names of fantasy creatures, D&D type creatures, and popped on some adjective. Although in some cases they're somewhat, some of them are kind of okay. Yeah, it's an adjective in front of a creature name. Let's be honest about that. But some of them are Tundra Daywalkers, Amber Fairies, Dusk Orcs. Some of them are somewhat evocative. Dark Goliaths, Pale Goblins, Land Angels. Are these wingless angels? That's interesting. Occult Dragonborn. Okay. That kind of speaks for itself. Whistling Dryads. Almost what a will-o'-wisp does with light. Maybe it does with sound. Nordic Reptilians. That one just doesn't work for me. Gonna do one more here. Sea Sandmen. Certain sprites, grand myrmidons, hunting basilisks. Okay, a little more aggressive than a regular basilisk, right? Woken elves, supreme medusas, mud skeletons. Okay, mud skeletons I like. I could do something interesting with that, I think. But there you have it. Now we got all these names again. Let's go to that fantasy animal names, because I want to see if that's just the same kind of thing. Nope. Okay, this one's very different. It's not just adjective noun type of thing, which, like I said, can be sometimes useful. Zote the Fool. Hey, what kind of races you need? Foot races? I don't know. For these lists, you can get all sorts of things. Go Caputo. These are fantasy animal names. Zeetsiope, Seedish, Alpatru, Armucox, Salamanax, Salamakes. Okay. So they're interesting enough names. You could use some of these. You could use some of these for character names too, I suppose. Let's go back to here. Let's go to that fantasy surnames. I want to see what that throws out there for us. Fantasy surnames. Twilight Jumper, Blood Soar. Soar as in flying. Honor Dream, Deep Gaze, Iron Creek. Okay, these are basically portmanteaus, right? Where you take two words and smash them together to make another word. I guess without letters missing, that's not really. There's another name. English surnames. So these are using English words to create these compound names. French surnames. That's kind of interesting. I wonder if they actually mean anything in French or if they're similarly compound names that just happen to be in French. Interesting enough. Fantasy names again. Let's go back up here. We'll go with something unusual. Prophet names. What could that be? Oh, all right. The Magus of the Aspect, the Bringer of Servants, the Prophet of Desires, the Herald of Harmony, the Augur of the Cause, the Light Herald. All right, those are interesting. French has its own thing. It's just translating them, it looks like. The Little Prophet, the Messenger of Tolerance, the Bringer of Spirits, the Envoy of Obscurity. That would be a tough job. I could not see being the person in charge of making sure everybody knows about obscurity. Let's look at something else real quick here. Let's see. Ghost classifications? What is that? Grade 3 evil mutation. Okay, so this is like a rank 2 echo entity. These are like keep quiet or else. Ghost classifications? Oh, that's what the envoy of obscurity will yell. Keep quiet or else. Okay, that's good. Class 5 stinking mutation. So these are kind of taking a trope from Ghostbusters, right? They always had the classifications, or at least Egon had the classifications for different types of spirits and such. So that's yeah, okay. Let's see where they're going with that. That's interesting enough. Cockatrice names? Can this even be extensive enough to be okay? Primal Crest. That one's actually a compound name. Phantom Belly, Doom Eye, and then a lot of them are mostly glottal and hard consonant names. Bounty hunter names. What do we got here? This could be interesting. Twitch, Crisis, Swagger, Bilge, Filch, Scar. Male names, female names. Ash, Jewel, Feline, Curse. These are bounty hunters. I could see some of them work for me. Neutral, Dragon, Umbra. Yeah. Alright. Dragon names. Let's do that and then we'll move on and check another one of these websites here. Itis, Giver of Life. Tysanth, Protector of the Forest. These ofs and thes should be lowercase. First ones should be uppercase, I guess. Maybe not. That is a title. Maybe the Fierce is the full title, but Giver of Life of should not be capitalized. What a pedant. They better have Han Solo in there for bounty hunters, right? Well, Guido anyway, right? Guido and Boba Fett. Well, these are interesting. Male ones, let's see how different they are from the female ones. Frazu, Deltrats, Eternal Fire, the Mammoth, the Eternal, the Stubborn, the Death Lady, Longtail, the Clever, Redeemer, the Gifted, the Strong, Bringer of Death, the Strong, the Powerful One, Samurai Rotini. So I guess the first names are somewhat genderfied. I don't know. Neutral names. Lord of the Yellow, Lord of the Brown. Okay. The Gifted again. That was of the Green. It's not bad. Champion of the Green. Okay. Get some interesting ones there. Don't necessarily to be other dragonkin name generators for more inspiration. So there we go. Generators are always hit and miss on what they produce, but that's a great thing about generators. You don't see something at first blush. Click, 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 click. You go through it 100 times, and hopefully you will find things at some point. Let's do place names real quick. I want to have a look at this. I know we're on names, so place names catch. Mage Tower names. The Eternity Pillar, the Wicked Tower, the Chaos Obelisk, Makeshift Spire, Possessed Lookout, Tower of this, Tower of that, with some made-up names to look out of. Any of these with an of are going to apparently have a unusual name, just a conglomeration of letters. So we got Spanish ones, we've got French names. These appear to be direct translations. So it's producing these names and then translating them to those other languages. And that's good. Beautiful. Let's look at this other one here. Fantasy Name Generator. Now this is, admittedly, part of a website with a lot more, well, not a lot more. Software, blah, 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 bytes. Alright. Games, movies, hobbies, fiction. Not a ton more. We will take that and we'll put it over here so that I have it. And we'll grab the link, throw it in here since we're talking about it today. Got to create my links on the fly. Zote the Fool, Raging Albert. So you guys are both newish here, but Marty, I know Raging Albert, you've been here. You are a follower of the channel. I should tell Zote, you know, we keep track every week of people that follow the channel. And then on Mondays, I just randomly choose somebody who is a follower of the channel who has chimed in over the previous week in the stream chat at some point during a live show. And we gift them something. Lately, I've been giving out badges to virtual Game Hole Con that's coming up in early November. So, you know, if you're not a follower of the channel, you won't be on the list. But if you don't mind following the channel, then it's our way of that, and chiming in on the stream chat is our way of making sure you're not a bot, which obviously you're not, but those are the rules we play by here. So fantasy name generator, here we go. Simple interface and an advanced interface. So this is interesting right off the bat. The fact that I can just go down short names, medium names, long names, consonant heavy names, vowel heavy names, alternating names, names with apostrophes, names with dashes. Fun names include insults, mushy names, mushy insults, idiot names, very long names, bad names. Specialized names include a bunch of different real-world cultural names, and then we get down into fantasy names. Dragons, Pern, in parentheses, Dragon Riders, somebody who loves Dragon Riders of Pern, obviously, Pokemon. Fantasy names, vowels, comma, R, comma, etc. Fantasy names, S, comma, A, comma, etc. LH, NL, KN, JGZ, KJY, SE. I'm not sure what that means, so I'm going to take this KJY one, generate some names with it, and have a look at them. KJY. I see quite a few K's and Y's and J's in here, but not all of them. So it leans that way, one could say. Let's go to that. What else would be easier to spot? HL. Let's have a look at the HLs. See if that's... So again, we're all over the place. I'm seeing a lot of L's and H's within the names. Doesn't mean they have to start with an H or an L. And that's okay. Because, you know, if you're creating a fantasy world culture, a nation, I'm having to manage a lot of virtual school issues with the kids in the mornings these days. I hear you. It's tough. I don't have any kids myself, but I certainly have plenty of friends with kids that, you know, had been home since March and maybe are starting to go back to school now. So yeah. If you're creating a fantasy world culture, one pocket of the world, and you want everything to have a name-wise to have a sort of certain feel to it, at least a familiarity between them comparatively, then this is kind of a neat thing, right? Now, what is a shame is if a generator, if they can do this, vowels and R's, if they can manage to do this, lots of vowels and lots of R's, there you go. It doesn't mean there aren't names without R's, but it's kind of surprising that they don't let you plug in certain letters and then generate from that. Because that... Oh, I may be speaking too soon. Name generation template. This is interesting. I don't know. Let's call this Twitch channels. We're going to call it the generator of Twitch channels. Instruction. Name generator almost limitless flexibility, but you have to read the instructions to learn how to use it. I'm going to open the instructions in a new thing. It's pretty advanced. Okay, but this is what I was talking about. All right, we won't mess with it right away, but just looking toward the bottom of the instructions, you can see that you can plug in certain formula to create a generator. That is pretty interesting. Let's move on. Do a quick little look over here. Here's something interesting. It's a wiki page called Pub Names. It's pretty long. It has tons and tons of names of real-world pubs, which you could grab and adjust. I'll tell you what, you read a few of these, you're going to come up with a few of your own, too. It's definitely inspirational to read about a bunch of them, and they've got some extra details. Barley mow, a stack or sheaf of barley, the principal grain from which beer is made. Leathern bottle, a container in which a small amount of beer or wine is transposed, now replaced by the bottle or can. Let's go back up a little higher. Checkers of the wild service tree. General Elliot. These are ones that are named after people. The Shakespeare. Duke of Wellington. Fiddler's Green. Here's some classic names. And then it also has some information afterward about that particular place. So I'm going to throw this on here. Pub names. Not a generator technically, but I think there are enough names there, even though it really functionally is just a list of names, that I think it's worth sharing. Medieval English names. This is a site I like quite a bit. This is definitely a lot of name generators, and you'll see up top Anglo-Saxon, Ireland, Scotland, Franks, Goths, Huns, Norse, South America, North America, all the continents are up there. And it breaks down all the names. And look at this, it's all alphabetical here. Just keeps going. There is so much information here. Names and variations on those same names. It'll give you a main name like Margaret. It'll tell you that it means pearl. And then it'll give you 50 variations on the name. Right? That's pretty amazing. Medieval English names with Latin origin, male and female are split up. But again, Maurice, Amor, Merrick, Morris, Maury, Maurice with a Y, Moore, Maury, Maury, Morissette, Merrick. So, this is a site I think people will find particularly amazing. Anywho, we're about at the half-hour mark. I'm going to put this in as Medieval English Names, even though there's so much more to discover there. That, I think, is a good starting point for people, since I'm mainly an English speaker. I think that's the way to go. And we'll just bounce that down. We're going to take me off of there. And we're going to say, hey, thank you, everybody, for popping in today. I do appreciate it very much. I want to say thanks to everybody who's watching this or listening to it later, because that's also useful. Don't forget, Virtual Gamehole Con is coming up in early November. Get those get those events created and put in there. I'm working on mine too. It's going to be a while. Doesn't happen overnight. It's good to start with a good idea, but you want to flesh it out well. Also, the schedule for the rest of the week includes campaign discussion on Wednesday, GMing tips on Thursday, building adventures on Friday, GM reviews on Saturday, rules retrospective on Sunday, weekly news and announcements on Monday, Tuesdays cartography and world building. Then we're back around. And we're back around to it. I want to say, if you're catching this on YouTube, please do subscribe to the channel. Give us a thumbs up. And be sure and give us any constructive criticism there in the comments. If you have some, we'd appreciate it. It's always good to make the show better. Well, thank you once again, and everybody have a great day. Come see us again, 9:30 a.m. daily, here on Twitch on the OK Grognard Show from beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Bye-bye.